Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews. Now today is a very exciting day for me, and I know what you're thinking. I say that all the time, because any day that I get to look at a dinosaur figure is an exciting day for me, but this day is super exciting for me. And not only is it super exciting, it's fairly historic as far as my collection goes, because as you can see right here in front of us, we have the Polacanthus, and this is a Toyway Walking with Dinosaurs figure. I actually have never owned any of the Walking with Dinosaurs figures before, as far as these older ones go from the actual series that was on TV. This is the very first one. I've always wanted some. I was never able to get them. They were out for a long time before I ever even knew they existed, so by the time I actually discovered that they are a thing, they were already long discontinued. So my chances of finding them for a good price were pretty much slim to none. Now this is the very first, as I said, of the ones that I'm hoping to one day get. It's the only one that I currently have in my collection, and unfortunately the rest are very hard to find. I am absolutely dying to get many others like the Utah Raptor and the Tyrannosaurus Rex, just a ton of them. There's a bunch that I would love to have, but unfortunately they're just so insanely hard to find that it's going to take me quite a long time and probably a lot of money to acquire them. But for right now, I am super excited to finally have one here in my hands to look at with all of you, and not only that, to include in my collection. And boy, will I ever say that I am so sad that I did not buy these previously, because this is amazing looking. I actually pulled this out of the box and I expected it to be fairly nice from the images that I saw online, but I did not expect it to be quite as nice as it is. It is honestly absolutely jaw-droppingly beautiful to me, and I really am excited beyond belief to show this figure to you guys. So without further ado, let's get a closer look. So starting up here at the head sculpt, look how insanely nice the head sculpt is. It is really beautiful. Lots of very small, very fine detailing going on. The ears are nicely sculpted out there behind the eye. The nostril also looks very nice. You may see a chip of paint here and there on it, but there's honestly not too much as far as that goes. A little bit, but it is a fairly old figure, so it's going to be pretty tough to find one in perfect condition. I love the white paint around the eye, that kind of a ring that really helps to elaborate that very dark black eye. Unfortunately, this was a time that people did not put a gloss on the eyes or anything like is currently the trend, which is a beautiful trend, I will say. I love that. So you don't see that going on, but overall I think the head sculpt is just absolutely fantastic. As we move back into the neck, you can see some very nice sculpt work, very small, fine detailing going on. And then we move up here into the back of the neck and we start to see the armored area with all the various spikes and armor on the top of the Polacanthus. And you can see some very nice paint application up here on the top of the head too, actually. Very nice sculpt work as well. And you can see that the overall armored area looks very real to me. It looks very legit, and I love all the sculpt work in general around all the different spikes, as I think it really helps to make the entire thing just look really striking and beautiful. I think they've done an incredible job overall on all the very fine, very small detailing of that area. As we come back down here, you can see the front leg, very nice musculature is present. You can see that the sculpting is really beautifully done, as is the paint application. All looks very natural, very realistic looking, very nicely sculpted feet. I think they look quite beautiful. The nails don't actually include any paint other than the same body color that you see all over the place with that dry brushing in this general area, but they do still look really quite nice. We move back up into the stomach. You can see some nice skin folding and wrinkling, showing the movement of the dinosaur portrayed here in the sculpt of the skin. And if we get really close, you can really see the nice detailing of the actual spikes. I think they look beautiful. And they start out as a lightish color, and then as they get closer to the tips, kind of transition very naturally into a darker, like a yellowish type color. And if you actually look at the ones up here, they have that same similar appearance, but then as you get closer, they turn into a purple, actually, on the tips, which is really cool and really striking. That's just something I would have never considered when it comes to painting the spikes on an ankylosaur type dinosaur, but I think they've done a really good job with that, and overall gives it a very striking look. As we move back into the stomach here, you can see some very nice sculpt work and some nice skin folds here in the stomach, some nice wrinkling and creases in the skin here in the stomach. Beautiful looking. We get into the leg here. Very huge thigh muscles. Very nicely elaborated. Nice calf muscles. We move down here into the feet. Once again, the feet also look beautiful on the rear. And you can see some nice dry brushing that they've done once again, with other variations of browns and blacks included. And then if we move back up into the back again, look how incredible this area looks. I love that area right there. That really is beautifully sculpted. Absolutely fantastic looking. And then we move back down into the tail, and we move out the length of the tail. Very nice sculpt in there as well. You can see the cloaca here. So these were very scientifically accurate for their time. And then it kind of transitions from this white to an all brown tail as we get to the tip of the tail. And the upper part of the tail is actually really beautifully sculpted as well. Look how awesome that armored type of a look appears in the sculpt. So many different creases and cracks all throughout. It looks very real, very beautiful. Even the spikes that run along the side all have beautiful paint applied. Very natural looking. And overall, it just gives the whole thing such a striking look with how dark the upper part of the back is, and then how light these spikes and everything are. I think it really helps to elaborate this in such a beautiful way. The sculpt is the same on this side as we saw on the other side, as this is standing in pretty much a completely neutral position, and honestly looks just exactly the same as we saw on the other side. You can again take note of some very nice skin wrinkling, skin folds and everything all throughout the stomach. Really beautiful as far as that goes. The legs also look fantastic on this side, just like they did on the previous side. And you can actually kind of see a little bit of a brown as you get back here into the tail. Transitions from this like whitish color to a brown, again giving it just a little bit of color variation. I think they've done a great job as far as actually making this look like what you see in the Walking with Dinosaurs series and copying the overall sculpt and paint scheme from the series. I think it really looks very, very close to what you do see in Walking with Dinosaurs. So they've done a great job as far as that goes, and the paint applied is all really, really nice, and I think it all looks very natural, looks very much so like body color and not paint applied, so they've done a fantastic job on that as well. As far as the size goes on our Polacanthus, from the head to the tail, you're looking at about 9.5 inches, or about 24, almost 24.5 centimeters. And for a height, we of course know that this is a very low to the ground dinosaur, so you're not going to see too much in the way of a height, but about 3.25 inches, or about 8 and almost 8.5 centimeters. For a size comparison, there is the Paporex, and there is the Walking with Dinosaurs Polacanthus. So this here should give you a good idea that this Polacanthus is actually a pretty large figure. It's a very nicely sized figure, that's for sure. I think that it is an absolutely beautiful size, and our Paporex here is giving us a hand in showing you that right here next to each other. So I will say that I was blown away when I got this out of the box at how nice it was. Absolutely blown away. I think this is just beyond words beautiful, and overall is just so insanely striking looking, and just an absolutely beautiful Polacanthus figure. I'm a huge fan in general of this paint scheme. I think the paint scheme is a great choice, and it was a great choice by the creators of the Walking with Dinosaurs series to make it look like this, because it's a very dark look on the upper side, but such a beautiful appearance on the underside with that white coloration, and it really makes the entire thing just look so realistic, but so flashy and majestic, that I just love the entire look of this. I think they've done an incredible job on the sculpt, including so many minute little details, and considering how long ago this was sculpted with such beautiful sculpt and detail, it is just incredibly impressive to me how insanely nice looking this figure is. All the paint applied again looks very natural, looks very real. They've done a great job with that. The sculpt overall looks just like what you see in Walking with Dinosaurs, so they've done a fantastic job of replicating that as well. I'm very sad that these figures are no longer available as far as buying them from any stores for the actual retail price, and it's all now third-party sellers that you will have to pay a good bit more for. I was absolutely ecstatic to find one up for auction on eBay, and ended up only paying about 20 bucks for this guy, which is still probably more than it was initially. I'm not really sure, as I don't know what the actual retail price used to be, but I was really happy with that price. I thought that was a great price considering a lot of people on eBay are trying to charge about $40 for figures like this, so $20 for me was a steal in my opinion, and I was beyond excited to go ahead and buy this guy, get it home, and take a look at it. Beyond words beautiful is what I would say that this Polacanthus here from the Walking with Dinosaurs series is. Again, I'm hoping to get a hold of more of these figures, like the Utah Raptor I'm just dying to get a hold of, and I'm hoping to get a hold of them sometime soon, because I would love to see them sooner rather than later in person if they are anything near as nice as this is. So I'll keep hunting for those guys, but for right now, enjoy this Polacanthus, guys, in this video, and if you get a chance to pick one of these up, I highly recommend it. I will try to link you guys in the description to the cheapest one I can find on eBay, but it's probably still going to be pretty expensive. However, check the description if you are interested in picking one up for yourself, and please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next review. Thanks for watching.